I think
Can't be a bit of Andy Goldstink.
Talking of names, time to speak to Dr. Octagon.
Dr. Octagon, Dr. Octagon, Dr. Octagon, he is here, he is here.
He is here, and his team are the Premier League champions. Good evening, Noel Gallagher.
How you doing?
Evening, Noel.
Yeah, I'm alright, how are you?
Very well, very well. I'm liking this champions malarkey.
Okay, before we get to that, the usual question, where in the world are you at the moment?
I'm actually at home. I arrived home this morning at about 7 o'clock.
Oh, you could have popped in, we could have done this chat face to face.
Yeah, I could have, but I didn't, and I never want to, okay?
Where did you fly in from? Was it Peru, the last place you were at, or...?
No, from Santiago in Chile.
Oh, okay. Good flight, everything alright?
It was righteous. It was righteous. I was reading, I had all the newspapers to read, and it was a wonderful flight, bit of champagne, you know.
Well, let's work backwards then. Before we talk about the game, obviously you won and celebrate. Have you stopped celebrating? Were you celebrating on the plane?
No, not really, because we'd had a gig the night before. It was late. It was an early start, but we did have a few bottles of champagne and that. But you know, to be quite honest, we're so emotionally drained. It was like you needed to lie down after the match.
Did you cry? I read a report you cried. Is that right?
You know, unfortunately, I did shed a tear. Well, I did at the FA Cup semi-final as well. You know, because you know it's just like those things. You never think you're going to live to see it. Do you know what I mean? And I don't really get too down when things are going bad. I just kind of suffer that in silence. But it was those seismic moments of beating United at Wembley, and then that, and the way that it happened was just, well, you're just speechless. So all you can do really is just let it out, you know.
So you actually didn't know what to say to yourself?
Well, can you imagine? Well, you know, it is like that. I mean, I won't say what I said live on the radio, but I said the same phrase, which rhymes with cooking bell, right?
Okay.
About 100 times at the top of my voice into the television. When he scored, it was just unbelievable.
Well, listen, let's go back then to the beginning of the game, because it was probably, for a game of football, I don't think there will never ever be another game like it, for what it meant and the roller coaster and the manner in which your team was behind and who got sent off and so on. Obviously, you took the lead. It was Zabaleta that scored the goal. And did you think as soon as that went in, that's it, floodgates open, we'll walk it now?
Well, I said to you before the game, I felt what had happened is it would be a long day, and I thought United would go ahead first, and there'd be that thing where United are winning and we're still, and so that came to pass. And you know, we arrived at the bar kind of quietly confident, but not tempting fate. And then you know, United had gone one up, and I was like, well, that's all right. That's kind of in the script. And then when Zabaleta, kind of, you know, that was the one chance we had. And then you thought, well, they're going to come out now, and you know, we're going to pick them off. And boy, did they come out, you know. And it went from kind of, you know, quietly confident to jubilation, and then there was half time, and it's like 45 minutes away from it. It was kind of beginning to dawn on you. And then when they equalised, it was like, well, still all right. You know, we've got the players.
But that must have still been a surprise that QPR, at your home ground, the Etihad, where it has been a fortress, have all of a sudden nicked the goal back against the run of play.
Yeah, and it's just a ludicrous mistake by Lescott. I mean, he must be the most relieved man in England this morning, you know, because I'm sure people will kind of Google his address where he put his windows in. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, when he kind of went through and he scored, but the second goal was just devastating. And then but as soon as Barton went off, I was like, no, this is bad. You don't need this against, you know, 11 men fighting for their lives is bad enough, but 10 is even worse, do you know what I mean? And, but as irony would have it, that 5 minutes really won us the title, you know, and we would just seem to be behind forever, and without really having any clear-cut chances, when it got to injury time, just before Silva took the corner where Dzeko, and we have to mention Dzeko because nobody's mentioning him in all this. It's all about Aguero, and rightly so, and what a finish. If he doesn't get that goal, we're done. You know, I turned to my mate just before the corner, not as it was being taken. I said, if we're going to do it, it's got to be now. And then when he got that goal, I mean, before that I'd given it up. I was like, God, I've got to go and speak to those two clowns on the street. Oh, God.
I'm so pleased that was the thought in your head.
I know, and then I'm kind of thinking, what's my mum going to say? And then, well, you know, it's all that. And then, once he scored, I thought if we get one more chance, we'll win, but we still couldn't get a clear-cut chance. And it's ironic that the one clear-cut chance in the whole game, and, you know, what is staggering, though, is it falls to Aguero, and he has the wherewithal to take 2 touches to get himself into space in a period of a split second with, you know, that's it. It's all on the line, the last kick of the season. I mean, you know, that's why the big players get paid the big money, because
and also
anybody else either goes down under the challenge,
that's it, or
goes for the penalty, right, or just puts their foot through it and hopes for the best.
Yeah.
The touch was like, I mean, it was mind blowing.
So just to go back a bit, where did you watch the game then, Noel?
I was in a bar in downtown Santiago. A friend of a promoter had opened this bar at 10 o'clock in the morning. But the Chilean bar staff had all turned up to watch us, and there's 6 of us. There's 3 City fans, a couple of Liverpool fans who quite literally celebrated it more than we did.
Yeah.
I bet.
And a couple of security and all that. At the end, when it was just Aguero scored, the Chilean bar staff all just started chanting, football, 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 and pulled out 2 bottles of champagne. And, you know, when you look at the big picture of it, okay, it's great for my club and all that. That was great for football, where you only live to see those moments 3 or 4 times in a lifetime, where it's like Arsenal at Anfield in '89, Liverpool in Istanbul, United in the Champions League final, and that, and you just think, that's why we obsess about football. That's why people just don't understand it. You get so insane about it. You know, that when moments like that happen, you think, God, that's why I love that game.
But let me ask you, so when the winner went in with Aguero, so for argument's sake, I was watching it around a Powell's house. There was about 6 of us. I was the only United fan. Everyone else was City. Certainly when the first QPR goal, but when the second one went in, I ran round the room as if I'd scored it. I was close to taking my shirt off. It was ridiculous. But what were you like when Aguero scored? Did you just jump up? Did you run about? Did you scream? What happened?
Well, it was in one of those bars, and the TV's about 10 foot off the floor, so it's up in the ceiling. I was trying to pull the TV off the wall, and
got to see if it actually happened.
Yeah. Now, fortunately, I've got a film with me on that leg of the tour. We're filming all this, so you'll be able to see all. It's coming out at Christmas on a DVD. So they said, look, do you mind us filming you, like, watching the game? And I said, no, it's going to be great. We're going to win the league. It's going to be fantastic. I am dreading watching this footage back, because it's just going to go from every emotion that can ever be wrung out of a human being,
Wonderful.
Yeah, and to tears, anger, it's just unbelievable.
Well, one of the emotions that I thought was really evident amongst those players was frustration. You could see it on Mancini's face, you could see it on Tevez's face. Some of the crosses they were putting in, Clichy went down the left-hand side, and he crosses the ball, it goes into the... And I thought to myself, they've run out of ideas here. They've actually run out of ideas. And to put Dzeko on actually was the changing point in the game for me, because they realised the balls have got to come in the box. This is their only route through, because it was a red wall they were faced with.
Yeah, well, again, Mancini's made some big calls in his short time as a City manager, but taking Tevez off and putting Dzeko on, who literally couldn't hit a barn door with a cannonball, for the last 2 months, and it's gone. In everybody's head, it's gone. I don't care. I mean, it's gone, and he just pops up. I mean, he had a shot before they went out for a throw-in, and you're just thinking, good God, and I just thought, when he scored that goal, I thought, we've got a chance here. But Mancini, I mean, when he done that thing where he's crouching down like AVB, I was like, please, that's going to be the picture. That's going to be the picture tomorrow, and it's going to be a crusher. But, I guess it doesn't really matter. What else it brings it on to, it doesn't really matter what anybody else believes on the terraces or the tension, as long as the players believe. Then you've always
and they've
got
done it before, Noel. They've done it against Spurs. They've done it against Sunderland. You were 3-1 down against Sunderland at home, and it was a big shot. Right. 2 late goals. You've done it against Spurs to win that game. Yeah. And I heard Company talk about that afterwards, and he mentioned those games, and it was within the players. And you can't buy that. No matter how much money you spend on players, you can't actually buy that belief.
No. Well, the money thing, we'll get to that in a minute. But I've heard the talking since then, talking about the money now. City have bought the title, but you know after the game after Arsenal, when Mancini concedes the title, from there on in, it's got nothing to do with money anymore.
No, you're right. Yeah.
It's just got about to do with belief and training and spirit and guts and glory. And you're not telling, you know, the money puts in the car park. The manager's still got to do it. But from the minute we lose against Arsenal to the final whistle going, that's got nothing to do with money. That's just got to do with collective spirit and desire, you know. And it was just a kind of, well, like you said at the top, we'll never live to see that again. The way that the Premier League goes down to the last kick of the season. It's unbelievable. That's why we all love it. That's why we love it.
And Blake, you got to thank Joey Barton, because it wasn't Fergie time, it was Joey Barton time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the less said about that, the better. I don't really want to comment on that, because I know him. I've met him countless times. And the funny thing is, he's everybody trots it all out. When I've met him, he's been a lovely lad, you know what I mean? But there's just that you cannot condone. That's just nonsense on a football pitch. I mean, you texted me just as that was happening, just saying this is utter madness, and I was like, I couldn't. He's got away with it there, because if his club would have gone down, you know, it's just,
you're right.
It's just nonsense. But you know, the FA they'll sling the bucket in for this one.
I'm just annoyed that he didn't do it harder to Aguero. He wouldn't have been on the pitch. I'm joking. Joking. Hey, listen, before we let you go, actually, we've got some breaking news that we'd like your view on, actually, because we got all the back page headlines literally off the press, and they're all about the England squad that Roy Hodgson is going to name tomorrow. And the main news that they're all going
Isn't it Aguero?
Well, there's Jacko up front. Well, I'll give you the headline from the Mail. They're all the same. Roy axes Rio. He says, Ferdinand misses Euros, but rival Terry set for call. Mika, Crouch, Walker, all out, but Carroll gets nod. And they all go with the same. Rio's out, say the Sun. Euro dream over for Ferdy. I just want to get your view on it.
Well, I guess if you're going to pick the players in form, Andy Carroll's at some kind of form. Rio, I don't know, was he axed or has he said, look, I'm not going, you know what I mean? It's we don't know what's going on there, but I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a strange old Euros, this one, because none of us are expecting anything, you know what I mean? And I don't know. But Walker not going and Michael Richards not going is a bit mad.
Yeah, I think Carl Walker's injured. I think he's got. I'm trying to find it here. I think he's got an injury. Yeah, so he's not available to be, and that's going to be a blow in itself. And Michael Richards, who's going up?
Who's going up front then? Rooney and who else?
There's talk of Zamora.
What?
There's talk of Zamora. I mean, he's going to choose from Welbeck if Bent's fit. Carroll, it looks like he's going. Crouch, Defoe. Oh no, Crouch is not going, is he? Sturridge and Zamora, as we just said.
Well, of course, he used to manage him at Fulham, didn't he?
So, yeah, but I mean, God Almighty. I mean, to be quite honest, it just shows the talent that we've got there. Do you know what I mean? There's not a great deal to pick from, bar Rooney, but I mean, you've got to take a big one and a little, and I suppose Carroll's in a bit more form than Crouch, but there you go.
Is that a rule you live by? Got to take a big one and a little one?
Well, when I was shoplifting, yeah. You know, you'd always have to get like a mini, a bounty and a family size dairy milk. But can I just say before I get off about all the money thing about City buying the title? I'd just like to say that in the 20 years, the dark days, the late 80s, up until the came in, it was the fans that kept that club afloat, and it was the fans that made Manchester City Council realised that it was commercially viable to City that stadium because of the support that we had. They knew that we could fill it, and they would make some money out of that. And it was the fact that we had that stadium that enticed the Sheikh, the club. So for all the people that say that, you know, we bought the title, it's like Sheikh Mansour's bought the club. You know, the fans have kept that club afloat for the last 25, 30 years, and the players, from the minute the final whistle went out, Arsenal put it in on the pitch. And I think, bar, you know, United fans, I don't think anybody would begrudge the title this year. I mean, if you win your last 6 games in a row and then you win the last game and how you win it, there is no. I mean, the stats read what you want into it, but you know, when you score the most, concede the less.
Oh, you're the
see
best
the
team.
league.
No, you're absolutely the best side.
You don't
And
win
you
the
know
Premier
what?
League if you're not.
I
as
said to
well.
Andy last night, if Manchester United have won the title, and let's be honest, they were seconds away from it, I'd have come on here and said they are not the best side in the country to win this title. I know everyone says the league never lies. Actually, the league would have been distorted had Manchester United gone on to win that.
Yeah, I think, you know, Ferguson went on about maybe City would have a Devon Lock moment, you know, knowing that his team had already had one.
Yeah,
And they'd blown it.
Yeah.
And I think privately, the way that, you know, he says, oh, we these great young players and blah, 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 and the future's bright, I think privately he'll be asking himself some very searching questions about his setup when they went to our place to try and get the draw.
Yeah.
And he'll be asking some serious questions of the squad, because that is so unlike Man United to blow 8 points.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, you still got to, City still had to win it. They still had to go and win it, you know.
Mr. Gallagher, thank you for coming on and not gloating.
Cheers, Noel. Enjoy your summer.
I don't have to go because I've got my Champions 2012 tattoo.
I so hope you have. Thank you, pal. It's always a pleasure and an honour.
Cheers,
Thanks,
pal.
mate.
Speak to you soon. Bye.
Cheers, pal.